Melee executions have been added to the game. This also means you can commit suicide with melee weapons, and it specifically has to be sharp weapons like swords, knives, broken bottles. To execute yourself, you just right-click yourself and then click execute, and it'll play a do after bar. It takes 4 seconds. In order to execute somebody else, they have to be either incapacitated or in handcuffs. And in the same time period of 4 seconds, you'll execute them, and it does a massive amount of damage. It doesn't quite fully kill a full health person, even with a Captain Saber, but it does 7 times damage or something like that. So unless you're using a broken bottle, it pretty much will be enough to crit someone. Thieves have received a new gadget to make your life a lot easier and give new strategies. It is called the Thieving Beacon, and it'll be in your inventory on round start. You can pick it up, drop it on the ground, alt-click it to turn it on, and then you have to right-click it and set the coordinates. Once you have set the coordinates, any object nearby that is your steal objective will turn green, as long as somebody doesn't either move those objects, turn off the beacon. Basically, you make a thieves' den, put all your items there so you can, like, if you have to steal a structure or an animal, you can lock them in a room with the beacon there, and you will green text when the round is over. The Syndi Kit has been changed. The Syndi Kit has been buffed. It now comes with a radio jammer, a lighter, and a syndicate code word. The way that code word is delivered is you literally get a piece of paper that will tell you one word of the syndicate's code words. EMP implanters and grenades have been buffed. They have a larger effective radius. But even while standing pretty much in the dead center, you can see how the radius actually affected it. It didn't affect this bottommost disabler, but it did affect the topmost disabler. Detonated pretty much dead center of this tile. And you can see just how massive this radius actually is. You start missing the things on the corner. Being cold will now slow you down. So I stepped on the tile for about 1 second, and yes, my movement speed will now be the slowest modifier. So at 260 Kelvin and below, you will lose 60% movement speed. But my body temperature is actually rising back up because I stepped back in the station pretty quickly. At 280 Kelvin, we lose 40% movement speed, which you can see reflected in the current sprint speed modifier. And at 293 Kelvin, we will go back to normal. We are at 293 Kelvin. Our movement speed is back to normal. You can now make custom burgers. What you do is you cut a bun in half to get a top bun and a bottom bun. You can pretty much put anything on it that's food related and put the top bun on, and you'll just have this ridiculous creation. I'm sure you're going to see things much crazier than just a literal 3-tile tall tower of cheese. Friction, and specifically player friction, has been changed by quite a lot. You are more or less frictionless in space now. Not quite frictionless, but you will essentially, if you full speed run out of an airlock or something or get hit by a ship, you're going to get flung quite a distance now. Crowbars have been changed. You can no longer put normal crowbars in your pocket, but you can still put emergency crowbars in your pocket. So probably people are just going to prioritize picking these up. And you can always get emergency crowbars from emergency toolboxes. So if you're trying to look for them, that's the way to find them. Bent Atmos pipes now do 8 blunt damage when thrown. So if you ever just want to throw a solid object at somebody that does a decent bit of damage, you can make these corner pipes, unanchor them, and toss them at people like a boomerang that doesn't come back. Buckling people now has a do after bar, meaning you can't just instantaneously throw somebody on a chair against their will to either disrupt their movement. It means also doctors have to take an extra second to strap their patients in the bed, and security will have to also take the extra second. They can't just instantaneously subdue someone magically. There are new additions to what actually has DNA and how DNA can be transferred. So for example, fluids will keep their DNA if moved in a new container. The forensic scanner can now scan fluid containers specifically for DNA. Things like vomit can now be scanned directly to see DNA. So there's a lot more useful tools for the detective here. Also, that means you can't just swap cups and magically the DNA and the fluid is gone. So this should allow for more clear and concise cases when reagents, blood, vomit, and stuff are all included. Maintenance closets have been given a new variety of loot, and rather than just like going through a giant list, because it is a giant list, I'll just open 4 random ones, and you should get an idea of what's been changed. So in this locker, we got inflatable barricades, a strange pill. That one's actually not too much different. This one, we got barber scissors, welding tools, some bits of cables. They're in 10 stacks, a beaker, leather shoes. Got an artistic toolbox, some more cables, glasses, medium power cell. And in this one, we got a normal handheld radio, gas analyzer, nitrogen tank, and a multi-tool. So there's definitely some increased variety, even in a small sample size. The Rat King can now wide swing, but you have to be extremely cautious because you can one-hit your own rats this way, so the wide swing is probably going to be limited in its use. Should probably be like zombies and stuff where you just can't kill your own rats. Dragons are once again immune to flashes. This was broken for quite some time, but made killing dragons way too easy because you could just toss a flashbang or a flash at them and they were basically immobile and were an easy target. And I can't believe I forgot this when it was added. You can now wear lizard plushies on your head. That's incredible. Anyways, I want to thank all of our contributors and maintainers for all their awesome work this week. Great content and nice new features. And as always, thank you for watching.